Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Chief Warrant Officer 5, Jay Shears, his wife Jackie, and his family, thank you for joining us this afternoon as we celebrate and honor their 42 years of service to our state and nation. I am Colonel Martin Yost, and I am your Master of Ceremonies for this afternoon's special occasion. As we start this afternoon's ceremony, please stand and remain standing as we honor our nation with the national anthem, followed by the invocation by Chaplain Stein.
Let's pray. Gracious Heavenly Father, you are a great God, and you are a merciful God. Your mercies are new every day, and your grace and the gifts you give us so abundantly every day. Lord, your word says that every good gift comes from above, and there's no doubt that the gift of Jay has been to the guard, has been a gift from you. And Father, today we come together with him and Jackie, and we celebrate the culmination of 42 years of contributions, 42 years of sacrifice, so many things, so many friendships, good relationships, team building. Father, we just thank you for every day of what seems like an eternity in those 42 years. Thank you for Jay and his family. Bless them going forward into new endeavors. We know he'll be as productive and as honoring in whatever he does in the days to come, but continue to guide and direct him in everything he does. And I just pray that the celebration would be glorious and comfortable, and I'm sure somewhat sad, but just bless them this day. In Jesus' name, amen.
Please take your seats. Chief Shears, would you please come forward and introduce your family and special guest?
All right, thank you. So this afternoon I have my wife Jackie, her daughter Megan, my daughter Katie, her husband Andrew and William. I have the Hopmans and a good friend of mine, Marie. So thank you.
I also want to recognize the following people in attendance this afternoon. If you would, please hold your applause until the end of all introductions. The Assistant Adjutant General Army, Brigadier General Dave Bailey. Director Joint Staff, Brigadier General Deb Bartunik. Chief of Staff Army, Colonel Steve Simmonsman. State Command Chief Warrant Officer, Cedar Ridge 5 Brian Adele. I think he was sick today, so I apologize. State Enlisted Leader, State Command Sergeant Major Marcus Stacy. And other special guests that Chief Shears would like to announce: Major Retired Maurice Brand, past company commanders of Chief Shears. He did mention that they owe all their careers to him, and that is Brigadier General Bartunik, Lieutenant Colonel Kleinschmidt, and Lieutenant Colonel Eastman. And lastly, but not last, State Command Sergeant Major, retiree Michael Bergman. Please let's have a round of applause. Lastly, but most importantly, a heartfelt thank you to all friends and family of Jay and Jackie in attendance. Thank you for sharing in this very special event. As we continue our celebration, it's another custom to read the official bio of our honored guest, Chief Warrant Officer 5, Jay Shears. Chief Shears began his military service on 14 October 1949. See, I even made a joke when I didn't want to make a joke. In 1982, as a 63 Whiskey wheeled vehicle mechanic assigned to 665 Heavy Equipment Maintenance Company, not the maintenance company that we have today. There was a previous one. And during his service, he became the track platoon sergeant. After 20 years of service as an enlisted soldier, in 2002, he attended Warrant Officer Candidate School at Fort Rucker, Alabama. He continued to serve in the 665 and assisted with the unit's conversion to Company B of the 139th Brigade Support Battalion. In 2010, he deployed to Afghanistan with the 196th Maneuver Enhancement Brigade, where he served as the Camp Taggers Base Support Group, S4OIC. After the 196th Maneuver Enhancement Brigade deployment, he returned to his previous assignment as an automated maintenance warrant in Company B 139. In 2014, he transferred to the 139th Brigade Support Battalion, where he served as the Battalion Motor Warrant Officer in the Support Operations Section. After serving 4 years with the 139th, he transferred to Joint Force Headquarters, where he served on the Command Maintenance Evaluation Team, and he currently serves as the G4 Senior Ground Maintenance Warrant. Jay has also served many different roles on the full-time side. He started his full-time career for the South Dakota Army National Guard in November of 1991. The positions he has held during his 33 years as a technician include tool and parts attendant, fabric worker, surface maintenance mechanic leader, surface maintenance mechanic supervisor, and then in August 2021, he was selected as the shop supervisor at CSMS number 1, which employs 49 employees and is the largest maintenance facility serving every unit in the state. Chief Shears holds a 2-year automotive degree from Mitchell Tech and a history major from Ashford University. We will now move on to his awards. CW5 Chief Shears has the Bronze Star, the Army Commendation Medal, 2nd Award, Joint Service Achievement Medal, Army Achievement Medal, 3rd Award, Army Reserve Components Achievement Medal, 11th Award, National Defense Service Medal, 2nd Award, Afghanistan Campaign Ribbon with Campaign Star. He has the Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, Outstanding Volunteer Service Medal, Armed Forces Reserve Medal with Hourglass and M-Device, Army Non-Commissioned Officer Professional Development Ribbon, 3rd Award, Army Service Ribbon, Army Overseas Service Ribbon, Army Reserve Components Overseas Training Ribbon, 5th Award, North Atlantic Treaty Organization Medal, South Dakota National Guard Distinguished Service Medal, 4th Award, South Dakota National Guard Emergency Operations Ribbon, South Dakota National Guard Service Medal, 7th Award, the South Dakota State Partnership Program Ribbon, and the South Dakota National Guard Desert Storm Ribbon. In addition to his military awards, he was selected as the 139th Brigade Support Battalion Warrant Officer of the Year in 2008 and the City of Mitchell Veteran of the Year in 1991. That's quite a few awards, but you also have to think about the time. And when you dig into some of the data, and I'm not a math guy, but it comes to 2,132 drill weekends, 588 days of AT. That doesn't include the deployment of 1 year in his basic in AIT. Also keep in mind the additional drills and military schooling, which comes up to over 600 additional days away. All in total, Jay spent over 5,997 days, or 16 and a half years of his life away from his home. And that time quickly adds up. As a previous supervisor, fellow officer, and of course a friend, Jay is one of those soldiers that always gives 110%. He is available 24/7, 365, and never says no, but yes we can. As anyone that has worked with Jay understands, his attention to detail is incredible. He always does what he says and more. He has the highest integrity, meets and exceeds all suspenses, and sets the example for what needs to be done. One great attribute is he provides sound advice, even though the advice may not want to be heard. That is why he's a great warrant officer, mentor, and a person. Jay, you will not be missed, and thank you for leaving a legacy that will not be forgotten. Oh, that's a good one. I did so well through that whole thing, and then I apologize.
You wrote those jokes.
But you will not be forgotten. How's that? Chief Warrant Officer 5, I believe your bio stands for itself. Congratulations on an outstanding career. At this time, it is our privilege to honor Chief Shears and his family. Brigadier General Bartunek, would you please come forward to help present Chief Shears with his retirement awards? Our first award is the retirement flag and lapel pin. Dear CW5J Shears, thank you to you and your family for your many years of dedicated service and commitment to our nation. Only 17% of all soldiers who join the Army persevere until retirement. As you transition to the next chapter of your life, you will represent the Army in your community and may be the only connection to the military many people ever have. Our challenge to you is to hire and inspire. Hire veterans if you can and refer them to positions you know about. Inspire those with whom you interact to serve and support those that do. Most of all, tell your Army story, what led you to serve, and the positive impact the Army had on you. In the box, we present you the United States flag, a Soldier for Life lapel button, and a Soldier for Life decal. These items are symbols of your commitment to the Army and to your nation. Display them proudly around your home, on your vehicle, and in your community as a way to continue to support the Army and its people, our soldiers, families, civilians, and our soldiers for life. Once a soldier, always a soldier for life. Signed, Michael A. Grinston, Sergeant Major of the Army, General James C. McConnell, United States Army Chief of Staff, Christine E. Wormwood, Secretary of the Army. The next presentation is the Presidential Certificate of Appreciation. CW5J Shears, I extend my personal gratitude and the sincere appreciation of your grateful nation to you and your patriotic service to our country. Your bravery and dedication in our armed forces helped protect your fellow Americans during a critical moment in our history and contributed to the world of greater security and growing prosperity. Your devotion to duty, honor, and country, in keeping with the long traditions of the finest military in the world, emboldening the Army ideal of selfless service, our nation owes you an incredible debt. Your commitment and the example you set will inspire future generations to serve with pride and to keep our country secure. You represent the best of our nation, and I join our fellow Americans in saluting your honorable service. I wish you happiness and success in the next chapter. Signed, Joseph R. Biden, Commander-in-Chief. Next, we have the Governor's Proclamation. Executive Proclamation, State of South Dakota, Office of the Governor. Whereas Chief Warrant Officer 5 J.W. Shears' dedication to service has made him a valuable asset to the state and country. And whereas we have very few occasions to recognize those patriotic individuals who leave the comforts of their home and family to nobly serve a cause greater than themselves. And whereas Chief Warrant Officer 5 Shears has devoted over 42 years of his life making sacrifices that demonstrated no mission was too hard, no challenge was too great, and through tests and trials he emerged stronger than before. And whereas his loyalty and leadership as Senior Automated Maintenance Warrant Officer, Senior Ordnance Logistics Warrant Officer, and his service in Afghanistan have made him a cornerstone in the armed forces of this country. It is a privilege to honor his success, his sacrifice, and his service. And whereas Chief Warrant Officer 5 Shears continues to give of himself, and our future is brighter thanks to his dedication. And whereas it is fitting and proper as governor to commend Chief Warrant Officer 5 Shears for over 25 years of dedicated and outstanding service to this state and country. Now, therefore, I, Kristi Noem, Governor of the state of South Dakota, do hereby proclaim January 1st, 2025 as Chief Warrant Officer 5 J.W. Shears Day. In South Dakota, and I join with his family and friends in wishing him well in his retirement and thanking him for his service to the state of South Dakota and to the United States of America. Signed, Kristi Noem, Governor. With the governor's proclamation comes the governor's own challenge coin. This award is presented to CW5 J. Shears to honor his 42 years of dedicated and outstanding service to the South Dakota and to the United States of America. I, Governor Kristi Noem, present you this challenge coin for your courage in defending our freedoms and liberties. Signed, Kristi Noem, Governor of South Dakota. One of the most significant and important parts of the ceremony is when we get to honor the spouse of our retiring service member. Jackie, would you please join us up front? To all who see these presents greetings. This is to certify that Jackie Shears, on the occasion of the retirement of her husband from active reserve status with the Army National Guard, has earned grateful appreciation for her own unselfish, faithful, and devoted service. Her unfailing support and understanding helped to make possible her husband's lasting contribution to the nation. Signed, Mark R. Morrell, Major General, the Adjutant General. Attention to orders. To all who see these presents greetings. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America, authorized by the Act of Congress, 20 July 1942, has awarded the Legion of Merit to CW5 J. Shears, South Dakota Army National Guard, for exceptional meritorious service while serving in positions of increased responsibility, culminating as the Senior Ordnance Ground Maintenance Officer, Logistics for Joint Force Headquarters, South Dakota. Throughout his 42 years of service, Chief Warrant Officer 5 J. Shears served with distinction and provided exceptional leadership in positions of greater responsibility and importance. His noteworthy services have encompassed all levels of transportation, maintenance, and a myriad of additional positions, including State Safety Officer, State Maintenance Officer, and Command and Control Systems Integrated Border to Afghanistan. His leadership, technical competence, and total dedication contributed immeasurably to the United States Army mission and to the vitality and sustainability of the strength of the nation in a time of war. His service reflects great credit upon himself, the South Dakota Army National Guard, and the United States Army. Given under my hand in the city of Washington. Signed, Jonathan N. Stubbs, Lieutenant General, Director, Army National Guard. Please be seated. Brigadier General Martin, would please come up and provide some comments.
My pleasure and honor to be able to do this today. 42 years of military service, and of those 33 years as a full-time technician, that's dedication and manifest self-services. And Jay has definitely been the model for that. We've worked together many times, and I'm going to say that not only I owe my career to Jay, but a lot of other people that are in the organization. Because we don't get to where we're out by ourselves, and I've been so fortunate to have been able to work with Jay for many years in different capacities. And, he's worked really hard his entire career, and he's a no-nonsense kind of guy. You give him something, he takes it, and he does it, and he's one of those people that you never have to wonder if he's going to get it done, because he does. And unless he needs something, he just drives on with it, and it's going to be taken care of, and you're going to be looking successful because of the efforts that Jay has put into this. And, he's done a lot of things on the tech side, a lot of things on the military side. had the honor of working with him in both of those capacities. You know, he rose, I watched him rise from the ranks up through the enlisted warrant officer, and now have the privilege to wear the highest warrant officer rank there is, the CW5. And there's not a more deserving person to wear that rank than you, Jay. You know, you're one of the few people, there's a lot of people here I can say I've known them their whole career, but there's not many people around anymore that I can say I've known my whole career. But I pretty much known Jay my whole career. And I just want to thank you for all the years of service. Thank the family for supporting him. That's so important. You know, we can't do what we do without family support. And I just want to congratulate you, and thank you for being a mentor to so many, a friend, and just a fantastic soldier. So, you know, you've earned the right to enjoy his retirement, so I hope you do.
Thank you, Judge Martini, for your comments. Ladies and gentlemen, that completes the awards portion of the ceremony. Chief Shears, it's now your time to make and say your comments.
All right, thank you, Colonel Yost. A special thank you to the kind words General Martini says, and everything, again, that Colonel Yost has done for me throughout my career. You know, there's a ton of people to thank. You just do not get to the positions I've been in without everybody's help. And nobody does it alone. You know, I have a number of past commanders in here. I have a number of past lieutenants in here. I have a couple full birds right over here that were my lieutenants at one time. So a lot of thanks to all of you, and you're welcome. So, October of 1982, the recruiter came to our farm to sign me up for the Guards. I just turned 17 years old, and the reality is, I wanted to get off the farm, and this was the way to do it. You know, I wanted to go to school, this was the way to pay for it. He had to come out late at night because it was during harvest season. Drove all the way from Mitchell down to have my parents sign. So I joined 665, and at that time, 665 was way over strength. So the only way you got into that unit is if you knew somebody. Well, that company commander just happened to have been my track and cross-country coach, and my shop teacher. He taught typing and accounting at Baltic High School. That's how I got into the unit. So I felt very honored just to be able to get into the unit. One of the guys at the shop asked me the other day, what are some of the changes you've seen in your career? I said, well, for starters, we worked on Jeeps. We didn't have Humvees. He had a lot of questions about that. But most importantly, my first drill, we started at noon on Saturday and went till 8 o'clock Saturday night, which is great for a young kid because nothing happens in the bars until 9, 10 o'clock anyway. If we did that now, you'd probably find me sleeping before drill was out. So anyways, you show up for drill, and at noon, they sell beer. And it's not the 3-2 stuff, you know, for some of the younger guys, they used to have 3-2 beer. You have to be 18 to buy it. When you're 21, you can buy the High Point. They serve the High Point. So you could have a couple beers and a tomato, go back to work. I mean, it was great. I mean, I love this organization. A couple of the other things is, so like basic training, AIT, and your annual trainings, you got paid in cash. You reported for pay. So my first annual training, you get paid in cash, and they go from the lowest ranking, which was pretty close to me at the time, and alphabetical order in reverse. So I got paid first. This is great yet, you know. My first drill check, I got paid $73.52 for the drill weekend. I think it figured out to like $4.60 an hour. That was awesome, because I know most of you don't remember, back in the 80s, it was hard to find a job. I mean, just to find a job bagging groceries, you would be lucky as a kid. They weren't out there, they didn't exist. It was really a different time than what it is now. So I thought I had the world by the tail. That paid my rent all through boat tech. My drill check paid my rent. So some of the other changes is they never used to have an EPS list. So when I joined 665, once you hit 6 years, you automatically became an E5. once you hit 12 years, you became an E6. So what that resulted in is a huge backlog. Once that changed, then all of a sudden we had all these excess E5s and E6s that they had to take care of. Well, some of the best advice I ever got was from Chief Nicolaisen. He told me, he said, you know what? You do not get promotion points for going to AT. But you do get them when you get a 40-hour school. I went back and looked. I had 37 schools of 2 weeks or longer in my career. That's almost once a year. And he was right, obviously. They gave me the promotion points. You know, back in those days from out of town, you slept on the drill floor. You know, you didn't have the lodging. Just because things are different doesn't mean they were better back then. You know, a lot of things, you know, drinking the beer at noon, that's just dumb. It is. It is. You think about it now, you know, we'd take beer to the field. I remember we went to the field one time and we're loading the beer up. And this young lieutenant, I don't remember his name, is like, whoa, what are you guys doing here? And we had an old E6, Master Sergeant Brower, I remember, Van Overshield. A big old boy goes, puts his arm around this lieutenant, walks around behind the truck and has a word with him. So we loaded the beer up, away we went to the field. You know, in today's environment, that is completely unacceptable. I can joke about it. It was fun at the day. It was really, no, that's not the way to do business. 17-year-old myself would have said something different, but that's where it is now. You know, I had a ton of mentors over the years. You know, again, I want to recognize Master Sergeant Brower there, retired First Sergeant. Him and I joined a few months apart, 1 month apart, you know, and I have people like Sergeant First Class Hoffman over there. We were in the same squad for a lot of years. Chief Johnson, wherever he's at, him and I went to candidate school together. I don't know if I could have got through that without him being beside me. And of course, Marie Strang, extremely close friend of mine over the years. And you just don't get through it without people like that. I just want to recognize you. Let me see here. So over the 42 years, a couple more quick stats. You know, I've got to travel a lot. I was in 5 different units over that time, held 13 different military ranks, traveled to 11 foreign countries on 4 different continents. I mean, you just don't find a part-time job that lets you travel and do those types of things. And it was real. I went to Germany 5 times. That's probably why I stayed in. And I went right away, and I just keep hoping that's going to happen again. But, you know. But remember, you need to make sure you take care of yourself. Live a healthy lifestyle. You know, you don't. The things that you do in the military, it can wear on you. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Take care of yourself. Okay, and with that, of course, I want to thank my family. So if Marie will help me, I just have a couple things to give. We'll start out with Megan. Could. So I want to thank Megan coming out for drill weekends. She is always willing to meet with me, go out for supper, and let me buy her supper. I think that's why she met with me. We'd go for runs. She kind of got me back into running a couple years ago. One night she just called me up and said, hey, you want to run a marathon with me or a half marathon? I'm like, yeah, sure. And we did that one. Last year we did the Deadwood one. So I really appreciate it. And, oh, Katie's here. I have one for Katie. So you probably can't see from there, but they're in the shape of a dog tag with a dog tag chain for them. And Katie's been there through it all. I have to move on to Jackie. And of course, Jackie, she has been drinking through the fire hose for the last 8 years. You know, and she's done a great job understanding acting like she understands the difference between MDay and technician, and evidently we have a lot of acronyms. If you can read the back of it.
He loved because he first loved us in your anniversary.
Oh.
Yeah. So a year ago, on the 31st, we got married. A good friend of mine, Chief Nicolaisen, said, well, you ought to get married on New Year's Eve. So the date is 123, 123. Not even you can forget that. And it worked out, so we did. So thanks, sweetie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, with that, I want to leave just a couple words of advice. JFHQ is a great unit. Absolutely great unit, great people, you do great things. But don't camp out here. Some of you, I understand you don't have a choice. But if you can get back to the line units, that is where it happens. That's where the rubber meets the road. You know, come to JFHQ, get recharged, and get back out there again. You're bench warmers. You know, be out and be that starting five again. Again, nothing in this unit, it's a great unit, great people, but where it really happens is out there. You know, when you retire after 42 years, am I gonna sit there and remember my annual trainings at JFHQ? No, I'm gonna remember the XCTs where it rained all the time and the tornadoes came through and Custer where it rained and your cat stuck in the mud. That's what really makes a difference. And I want to tell a story. Some of you, I know I've attended my pitfalls class for the supervisor training. So you've heard this story before, but you're going to hear it again. So when I was in Afghanistan, excuse me one second. My supply sergeant, Sergeant Joyce from Maine, he has a very Maine accent, which I can't do, but one day he said, hey Chief, I gotta meet with that container management NCOI again. Can you come to the meeting with me? So he's been butting heads with this Master Sergeant. Sergeant Joyce was in E6. He's just been butting heads with him, wanted me to come to the meeting with him. I'm like, yeah, sure, I don't care, we'll go. So we go walking in, and this Master Sergeant sitting behind the desk, and he looks up at me and he says, are you from Mitchell? I said, like South Dakota, home of the Corn Palace, home of the Colonels? Yeah. I said, well, yes, I am. He said, you helped me out one time. I have no clue who this guy is. And I'm like, yeah, okay. He said, yeah. I said, I was an active duty recruiter in Mitchell. And I had an event going. I needed some tables, but I wanted them to be nice tables. And you had just opened up that maintenance facility, and you came out on a Sunday and got these tables for me. And I'm thinking, yeah, I do remember the recruiter was Richter, I believe, and got a hold of me and said, hey, this active duty recruiter needs some good tables. Do you have any? I said, yeah, we got some brand new ones. So he came out on a Sunday. I gave him a few brand new tables to use. I didn't think twice about it. But he said, you helped me out there on that Sunday. And he reaches over to Joyce and he grabs the folder or whatever he had. He looks at Joyce and says, don't worry, I'll take care of this for you. Too easy. We go walking out the door and Joyce looks at me and he says, Chief, how do you always do that? I looked at him, I said, I do it because I treat people right. It's that simple. When I came out on a Sunday that summer, I probably could have been golfing, maybe took me from my golf game, I don't know. Was I thinking 5 years later, halfway across the world, this guy was gonna help me out? Absolutely not. No. treat people right. That's what I leave you with. That's what I hope that y'all do. Thank you.
That was great.
Well, we're on our last official business. And it's a little bit different, Jay. This is Jay's last drill, as his final order is at the end of the month. So we've come to the moment in the ceremony where CW5 Shears receives his last official Army order. Attention to orders. Shears, J.W., Chief Warrant Officer 5, you are separated from the Army National Guard, State, South Dakota. Type of separation, honorable. By order of the Secretary of the Army, announcement is made of the withdrawal of federal recognition from the following officer in the grade and state indicated by reason of having transferred to the U.S. Army Human Resource Command, USAR Control Group, retired. Effective date, 31 December 2024, by order of the Secretaries of the Army and the Air Force, signed, Stephen S. Nordhaus, General, United States Army, Chief, National Guard Bureau.